My name is Alex. Welcome to the show. I just want to thank you for taking your time for doing the interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem at all. And for anyone just joining us, we are going to be going through the album and kind of talking about it. I listened to the album. I think it's fantastic. It's so different. And I think in a day and age like this, like it's so awesome to have something like that. So kudos to
Thank
you
you.
for this album.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm curious what you thought was different about it.
I think there's just so many sounds, and I know a few songs like it sounded very like Middle Eastern, like Arabian type of music, and then there's like really serious things on it that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. So I just love the different sounds of it, honestly.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is, how's everything going in your world? Not just musically, but also in your personal life as well.
Yeah, you caught me at a very interesting time personally. Um, I'm recovering from a bicycle accident
No,
that
no.
little over a month ago and had surgery for the first time, so that was interesting on my elbow. I have a pretty ghastly incision I can show you if you want to see it,
Oh,
but I don't want to make your viewers faint or anything. I've already had someone faint on me by seeing it, so but so I'm dealing with that, and so I'm also in a death metal band called Vastum, and Vastum is going on a European tour in next week. Oh my gosh, already.
ooh.
And I will not be joining. So that is a bit of a historical change for the band to go without me as one of the two founding members. So I wish them the best. I think they're going to pull it off great. They're all pros. But sadly, because, my elbow is currently locked in this position. um, this is about as far as I can extend it, and this is as far as I can pull it in. Doesn't make
Mhm.
it conducive to guitar playing and
Yeah.
touring and sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night and all of that. So
Well, thoughts and prayers for you, and definitely hope you make a quick recovery so you can get back to it.
thank you.
So, I want to talk about this album. How do you feel now that it's like finally done? There's like a release date on the 17th. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels like a big accomplishment because this has been a while in the making. Um, when I was making the album, I didn't know what label I'd be reaching out to, and obviously I've been working with 20 Buck Spin since the beginning of Vastum, so
Mhm.
so I have a very good relationship with them, long-term relationship with them, and so I thought, well, maybe I wonder if they want to put out a solo album. This is the sixth solo album. The other five have been on various labels of different
Mhm.
genres, and so this is the first 20 Buck Spin release, and so I didn't think I would ever see the day, but I'm happy it's here, and it's been quite the journey, and it was like an album that started with the artwork, right? Like
Mhm.
the artwork that the cover painting is by an artist from Poland, Justina Kozaczak. She does great work. I highly recommend checking out all her stuff. And
Mhm.
I always, like, when I start an album, I think about, well, what's the cover going to be before I even like write any music. And also because I know artists are busy, especially like the really good ones, you have to reach out to them, probably like at least a year in advance before you think the album's going to come out, if you want them to be able to have the time to put into
Mhm.
it. And then what I end up doing with this project, because it's just me, I use it to write the record. Like I sort of envision what the spirit of the album is going to be, with the visual, the textures, the themes, the concepts, and then I write the songs.
That's pretty cool.
Fun. It's sort of backwards from what like a lot of bands do, and
Hmm.
definitely my band. The artwork kind of comes later after the album's recorded. So, but yeah, Justina really helped me write the album. I mean, I the themes were sort of coming out. Things about just like there's a little bit of revenge fantasy in this. It's a very unapologetically feminist album, very
Hmm.
anti-patriarchal. And so I was thinking about ancient feminine wisdom, like where has that has been around for millennia and where has it gone? Like we need to
Hmm.
come back to it. And I was like, I can make an album about this, but what is it really going to be? Like what are um like what are some of the imageries I can put in? And Justina just kind of like she sent me all these ideas, and then
Yeah.
the interesting thing is we came upon the same idea without even telling each other about it.
Oh,
So
that's so cool.
yeah, the image of a giant eye, with the iris, and the pupil in that like vaginal shape. And she had done something. She'd done a lot of like work with sort of portals, like holes, and it's been this recurring theme in a lot of her work. And but it was sort of this, I could imagine writing an album around that idea. So, and then she sketched out this eye, and I had
Yeah.
thought of it, and I was like, well, that's what it has to be. It has to be the eye. And then she had all these ideas with the woman holding a wounded boy, and I thought that
Hmm.
really fit with the sort of the maternal nurturing aspects that I wanted to include in the
Hmm.
cover. And then there's something sort of like horrific about the cover, like it's like oozing. It's a crying eye, but it's like it looks, it's oozing and it's dripping, and it's there's something haunting about it. So
Yeah.
um yeah.
I kind of love that too. It's actually for anyone who is curious, this is the album cover, but I love like all of the colors and it's like dark, but then there's also some light colors in there too, so it's not like all dark, which I think was really pretty.
Yeah, totally.
So did
Yeah,
you have any like ideas on the artwork? Like did you have any like input on it besides like the eye?
that was the biggest part. And then I just kind of let her do her thing. And I loved it. I mean, I'm not a visual artist, and I love working with people who are so good at their
Hmm.
craft and trusting them to just bring an idea, like a very abstract idea, to life. And she absolutely did that, and I'm really grateful.
So I have to ask, now that it's done, there's a release date. I'm sure you've listened to it quite a few times. Is there anything that you would have changed about this?
About the songs, or
Songs, lyrics, album covers, anything?
interesting. I don't think so. I think uh, the way I work with my solo albums is I have a vision of what the whole thing is going to be like the whole
Hmm.
journey, and it's all part of a continuous um, journey. So it's not like I'm just throwing a bunch of random tracks together. It's actually never like that. I'm always like I start with a couple that I feel really strongly about, and
Hmm.
I think about, well, what needs to be built around that to make it
Hmm.
really feel like a continuous journey. And that's sort of been my MO since the beginning. And it works really well for me. And like because I work that way, it's sort of I don't have any like regrets about, you know, the songwriting, or because it's all really intentional. It's all meant to be sequenced in a certain way. So I'm not like randomly sequencing the album just, you know, to make it fit the vinyl, because that's always an issue. Like
Yeah.
the physical format of the vinyl, if you think about, well, the songs can't be too long on one side and not the other. But this just worked out perfectly. And and I don't think
Hmm.
that I would change it. And I had Greg Wilkinson at Earhammer Studio did a wonderful job mixing the record. So I had
Yeah.
his hand on it. I don't attempt. I used to mix my own albums, like the first four. I
Hmm.
were all self-produced, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it to the pros. Like they will always do a better job. So
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So I want to talk about the title song. There's some really deep, deep lyrics. I'm trying to say this without getting in trouble on YouTube because I know they're so censored about everything.
yeah,
But for anyone who doesn't know what the title track is about, it's, really deep. It's a word that rhymes with the word grape. So where did that inspiration come from? Like that's a very, very deep track.
yeah. All I can say is that look at the world we're in, right? Like that's all the inspiration I needed. I mean, everything from you know, growing up as a woman in my generation and all what everything I've had to deal with uh, in my relationships with men and just seeing how things have been transforming, like or just people not accepting abuse of any kind in numbers that I haven't seen before. Like I feel like you know how abuse has been defined is like has changed a lot in the past
Mhm.
20 years, 30 years, um and so there is some personal experience involved with that, but it's also like the experience of like every woman to a point
Mhm.
and what I observe and what I hear people talking about, but also it's I wanted to include this in that sort of uh the myth themes that I have going on with the album, which have to
Mhm.
do with Sumerian goddesses and the ancient wisdom that they carry and having all of that lost and forgotten because of the rise
Mhm.
of the more patriarchal Abrahamic religions. Uh,
Mhm.
and so there's sort of this like revenge fantasy that the goddess is going to come after uh, these assaulters and,
Mhm.
and assault them back. And I'm being very careful with my language right now. I would rather say a lot more intense things right now, but I don't want you getting banned from YouTube either. So
Yeah, it's crazy. They kind of just they make it's like these things don't exist, but obviously they do. But when I was listening to this song, and that was one that I'm like, wait, I had to like go back and listen to it again. So I'm like, is this song about what I think it's about? But it's like you can feel like the anger and the pain from like in the song, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so like heavy and deep, and I have not heard a song like that. So I'm like, that is like amazing because I feel like there are people who can relate to that for sure.
yeah,
Was
yeah.
the intention to put like the really like the hurt and the pain in that song?
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I have interesting stories about recording the track because I started with the piano part. There's a piano that part that sounds like a loop, but it's actually not completely a loop. That it actually keeps changing throughout the
Mm-hmm.
song. And I had that for a while, and I just wrote those lyrics before thinking of vocal melodies or anything. And I was like, this, I got to do justice to these lyrics because the lyrics are like probably more intense than anything Vastum's that I ever written in Vastum or anything, which Vastum's very known for our very intense graphic lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So these feel even more personal, more intimate, more graphic than that. And I'm singing them. You can actually make out the words. Uh,
Yeah.
and so, but I wanted to. There's a section, a screamed section, because at the beginning it's singing, it's melodic singing, but then it gets more intense, and the tempo changes, and then I go into these screams, and so Um, like I've been doing death metal growls for like, I don't know, 30 years at this point, probably. And so I'm very experienced, and when I do them, they sound very controlled, and sort of like in charge, like demonic and all that, but like very much in control. And
Mm-hmm.
and so that's sort of like what I know. And so when I was tracking this album, it was when I was tracking that particular track, the title track, it was it sounded too much like Vastum when I recorded the vocals. It didn't sound like I was in pain. It just sounded like, I don't know, like I was just, you know, commanding some ritual or something. I didn't want
Yeah.
that. I really wanted to sound like I was like coming apart at the seams. So um there's sections where I'm choking myself. Sounds of me choking, literally, as
Oh,
I'm
wow. That's commitment.
at the end. Yeah, so there's some of that theater in there, but then the screams themselves, I wanted them to just be like sound terrified,
Mm-hmm.
like terrified, insane, and just unhinged, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, and I kept trying, and I'm like, these don't sound unhinged enough. So I invited a friend of mine to a recording session as I was doing the
Mm-hmm.
vocals, and I asked her to punch me as hard as she could in
Oh,
my,
wow.
like, on my body, like kind of shoulder, arm, like just like, I mean, not my throat, because I didn't want to like not be able to scream, but I was like, just go for it, just like give it all you got. I want to just sound in pain. And
Mm-hmm.
so we went through this a few times. She didn't go hard enough the first time, and then I was like, don't, I can handle it. Just, obviously this was before my accident, but
Yeah,
uh,
I was gonna say,
yeah,
hopefully it's not that.
yeah. No, she did not break my elbow. That was my own fault. But yeah, so I feel like we got there eventually, and
Yeah,
and that the anguish I was feeling from the punches actually made it into the recording.
that is so badass. I have to admit, like that is dedication. That's awesome. So with that being said, this album is like an overall like one piece, including that song. Do you think it's meant to be like understood, or do you think it's meant just to be felt by the
Oh,
listener?
well, I think both. Um, I think the title song in particular, people know what it's about. It's sort of like unmistakable, and
Mm-hmm.
I think you can make out the lyrics. The music's really intense behind it, and so absolutely both. I think the other songs, they're a little more. They're not as confrontational as the title track. They're a little more abstract, not completely,
Mm-hmm.
but and that there's definitely more of a soundscape aspect to them. It's very
Mm-hmm.
orchestral. I have all different kinds of synthesizers I'm playing, and then the trumpet, and all different kinds of voice characters. So it's almost like an opera in that way, like where
Yeah.
there's like choirs, and like there's I'm speaking to the audience, or I'm speaking to a character or something. So it's almost more like storytelling in that way.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely noticed when I was listening to the album is there's so many sounds. Like there's so many things going on. I'm like, how did one person do this? Like there's just so much going on. And the more I listened to it, I'm like, I didn't notice that before. It's like, what did you use to like create all those sounds?
That's awesome. Thank you. And I did have quite a bit of help, but like I mean, I did attempt playing drums on the album. There are songs where I'm playing drums, and then I had Sam Foster, who's been my collaborator for like more than 2 decades at this point. He's like a top-notch drummer, and he can play. I mean, besides drum kit drums, he's very adept at hand percussion. He's trained in Turkish drumming, Turkish style drumming, and all of that.
Oh,
So
wow.
that yeah, so some of the songs that have more of the Eastern percussion, that's all him. And so but yeah, I mean, I tracked all of that on my laptop in my living room
Wow.
with a nice condenser mic and some synthesizers and my trumpet and some, percussion here and there. And then I had some guest vocalists and uh, um, Keenan Hamilton from Cartilage played lute on two of the songs. So that was a nice little flourish.
That's awesome. Like I said, there's just so much going on. I'm like, this is so awesome. So I have to ask, what do you hope that listeners kind of connect with in the album when they listen to it?
Well, I think I'm very hesitant to tell people how to take in my music. It's sort of like I like to allow for all the different um, ways that people take it in and find connection to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot to the record that's sort of unspeakable or that's sort of hard to articulate in words, and I like that. I like when people can connect emotionally and not be fully like it's ABC. It's sort of like tapping into something more unconscious and
Mm-hmm.
harder to describe. So I like that. Um, you know, there's a way in which you can listen to the record and uh, at least to me, there's like a feeling of revolution in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like like band together, and like and you know find strength in this feminine energy, which I think there's a lot of like resistance in the music scenes that we're operating in to really tap into that energy.
So talking about that, is there like a hidden layer or like a detail in the album that most listeners may miss like the first time? So they might have to listen to it a few times to hear that?
Well, there's lots of layers. I mean, we could be literal and say there's a lot going on with the layers, and you probably aren't going to notice them all the first time you listen. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there's something in the lyrics that you don't notice. Like I'm thinking about the first song, Descent into Kur,
Mm-hmm.
which is the description of the goddess Inanna's descent into the underworld, where she confronts Ereshkigal, you know the, the queen of the underworld that murders her, um, and there are these very light in the background choir vocals that are telling that story like of like of Inanna and speaking to Inanna, and
Mm-hmm.
you might not notice that the first time. So I think like maybe with repeated listens you would be able to make it out a little more. Maybe you'd make out some of the words, maybe not. um,
Yeah, I have to admit I missed that the first two or three times. So, but I like the album. So I listened to it a few times and I'm like, oh, I think I got it now. So I do have one last question here for you. Is there anything that you'd like to say to your previous fans, fans that, start listening to the album and I guess become new fans, or anyone you'd like to say thank you to?
oh gosh, there's so many people to thank. Samuel Foster, he's just been like my right hand throughout this whole thing. um, he's we're shooting a video together next weekend for Eros Anima, and he's on the album. He's done all my photo shoots. He's done visuals. It's like I could go on and on about him. My partner Gregory, who he does the throat singing on the fourth track.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been my full on soundboard for the whole creation of the record, and he's helped me guide through like be a harsh critic and also just like be my support system as well. And
Hmm.
I mean, there's lots of people like that I can thank and go on and on, but they're all thanked in the record, in the sleeve. And of course, Dave Brenner at Earsplit, who connected us. You know, he's been a longtime friend, and Dave at 20 Bucks Spin too. Yeah, I have a record release show booked in Oakland, May 30th at First Church of the Buzzard. That's going to be in tandem with a special screening of the Andros Insidium video, uh,
Hmm.
directed by Marcel Murray, who does Tritonia Films. So that's happening then, and then I'm planning for a tour in the fall.
Awesome. Sounds like you got a lot of things lined up then.
Yeah.
Hopefully your arm is better by then.
Yeah, well, I have a show coming up next month, so hopefully by then.
Well, I want to thank you for creating this album. I think it's awesome. I feel like, especially as a female, I'm like, this is so awesome. Like, it's just so empowering. And it was really awesome to listen to.
Thank you so much, Alex.